When I grew up, I knew I wanted to help people. I didn't know what specific job I wanted to do, but I just knew I wanted to make a difference in someone's life. My mom is a teacher, and she would come home every day and she would talk to me about her day. She'd say all the good things about her day. She would rant about her day, about other teachers, about her students, about her lesson plans that went badly or poorly. But she is my mentor. She is my role model. I try so hard to be the teacher that she is because I think that she is someone I need to look up to as a teacher, or a future teacher at least. My dad, he is a pusher. He has pushed me so much, and I am so thankful for that. I have needed his support, especially after graduating high school. I didn't know what college I wanted to go to at first, but after going to Butler, I realized that's where I wanted to be, even though that meant leaving my friends, and even though that is 17 hours away from Austin. My parents still supported me. They were like, it is okay, you were going to do amazing. And I needed that support. I needed to be pushed. I needed to broaden my horizon in my education. So, yes, that meant I needed to put down my Barbies for a little bit and become a big person. But going to Butler has been one of my best decisions. I would not be the person I am today without Butler. Indiana and Texas are very different from each other. It is 17 hours away. That is good and bad for my parents, but everyone knew Butler as the basketball school. Yes, they used to have a good basketball team. They still do. It is getting a little better. Something we need to work on. But my parents did talk to me about Butler because they both went to Butler. They actually met at Butler. My brother actually went to Butler and graduated 2 years ago. So we're just a big, happy Butler family. Maybe the next thing we need to do is get a bulldog. My parents still visit Butler quite a lot. My dad visits for tennis matches. He did go to Butler and play tennis for Butler. But the College of Education has pushed me so much to be the teacher I am today. They've pushed me sometimes a little bit more than I wanted to, but I wouldn't have grown as much if I didn't get pushed. I started my student teaching this year. I started at Pike High School. I was in the biology department in the freshman center. I was actually teaching 9th through 12th graders. My cooperating mentor, her name is Miss Calhoun, or Deborah Calhoun. She is an amazing lady. We did not always see eye to eye on everything, but what we did agree on was all we wanted was to help out our kids. We wanted the best for them. We wanted to watch them succeed and try new things and push them and have students question themselves and start hypotheses and predictions. And especially need to make sure that they follow the safety guidelines and make sure you always wear your goggles. I also made sure I brought technology into the classroom. Not every student did have a Chromebook, but we did have a cart that was in our classroom most of the time that allowed our students to use that technology. Since technology is becoming a larger and larger part, we decided to incorporate that. Unfortunately, there are times that our students definitely get us sick, and I did have to miss a couple days of school. But of course, when I get right back to school, my kids make sure to make me laugh, whether that is covering themselves with cardboard or most likely giving me a hard time about my height. That probably happened every single day. But Butler has brought me so much more to the table than just student teaching. I did intramurals. We were the intramural champs of dodgeball. I actually worked in the hospitality department at Butler, where I worked with Kyle Smith, who is an amazing guy. And through my job and through my parents being an alum, we actually went to the Bahamas to support the Butler basketball team. It's been such a great experience to be able to go watch them, even in the Bahamas, and especially with my parents, since they did also go to Butler. Also, the documentary, Eva, it is an amazing documentary, but my parents actually flew down for it because my dad actually knows Eva's son. Butler also allowed me to go to Hawaii. Unfortunately, it wasn't through Butler, it was through the University of Dayton, but it did help me grow as a person. My second placement was at Riverside Junior High. My cooperating mentor, her name is Anna Ballinger, or Miss Ballinger. I am actually her first student teacher, and I am so excited. I was so excited about that. She has given me so much freedom to make my own lessons, to let me even fail at times and make mistakes. But that is exactly what I needed for this semester. I needed to learn from my mistakes. I needed to learn kind of when to stop when my kids being wild, but also for me to use my creativity when it came to lessons and accepting that students don't all learn the same. There are different ways that students do learn, and we need to use that to our advantage. There were, of course, some students that loved me, and I loved them. There are students that will take your phone, even when it's in your purse, and look at it. But they're always there to support me as a student teacher, and they even call me a teacher at times because the thing is, I'm not the only teacher in this situation. They have been such big teachers to me as well. I did try to get to know my students more than just a teacher. I went to Texas for spring break, and they actually made me a playlist. This allowed me to get to know my students and know that they have horrible taste in music, but it allowed me to get to know what kind of music my students did listen to help me maybe like stay hip, because I did not know half of these songs. But my kids definitely keep me sane and definitely insane. But I wouldn't change any of my experience through this. They make me laugh. They make me want to go home and kind of freak out, especially, but they do know that I am going to be A-okay, and I know that they're going to be A-okay when I am gone. I'm going to miss my students writing me messages on the board, even when it is during river time, which is kind of just like a study time, but that allowed me to create these relationships with my students more and more, and not just me teaching them, but to help them actually with their homework, whether it was my class or other classes. But it's amazing that when I am leaving, there are students that are going to miss me, and I'm definitely going to miss my students, and them going out of their way all the time to say that they're going to miss me. My first period, oh boy, they were the most patient class with me. They saw me crash and burn quite a few times. My second period class, they tended to make me laugh and used to confuse me at the beginning of the year because we had triplets. My third period was definitely the most rowdy. They tried to push my limits, but I learned how to set my boundaries and be strict with my students when needed. My fourth period class wanted to know way too much about my personal life and became really good stalkers of my life to make me feel uncomfortable. My fifth period class was definitely my jokester class. They always knew how to make me laugh and ask me way too many inappropriate questions. Sixth period class, this was my story class. They always wanted to hear my stories from me and wanted to tell me stories. This was one of my smallest classes, but had enough energy as one of my largest classes. Butler and my student teaching has allowed me to grow as a teacher. Not in my height, unfortunately. That will always stay the same. But I've had such a great support system. My sorority, Kappa Kappa Gamma, has allowed me to grow as an individual. And also my best friends, they have been there for me to hear my rants, just like I heard the rants from my mom and all the good things, and all my good kids. They were my back. They were everything. I had bad days, and they were my shoulder to cry on. They read my papers, my kids' work. And then Graham, he knows way too much about my kids. And I'm pretty sure my kids know way too much about him, too. I'm pretty sure they ask me every day about him. And then even fellow student teachers, they pick you up when you fall. They're there for you when you are finally completing EdTPA. But student teaching is almost over. College is almost over. But I'm excited. I am so excited to start teaching. Still don't know where yet, but I'm so excited to start being a true teacher and having my own classroom. I'm also pretty sure my dad is also as excited as I am to be done with college, since he doesn't have to pay anymore. Now I'm going to have to start paying my student loans. But Butler has taught me so much, especially the COD department.